Welcome to the next lecture in electric circuit analysis. In this lecture, we are going to discuss electrical networks. So first, let us see what is an electrical network. The interconnection of electrical components like resistor, inductor, semiconductor devices, transformers and the source of EMF is called as a network. So network is basically the interconnection of different electrical components. A network does not require to have a closed path. The open circuit also can be called as a network. So there is a difference between a network and a circuit. So when we have a closed path, we do not have a closed path, then also it can be said to be a network. However, if we talk about a circuit, circuits should definitely have a closed path that we will see a little bit later. The network containing closed loop provide written path for the current. So whenever a network is having a closed loop, there will be a flow of the current and it will provide a written path for the current. A network may contain one or more circuit elements. So we have seen that the interconnection of the circuit elements form a network and it should have one or more circuit elements. It has two or more terminals for making connection with other circuit. So any electrical network will have the interconnection of one or more circuit element and it should have two or more terminals so that other part of the circuit may be connected to it. Let us see this figure and understand what is an electrical network from the general power system point of view. So the generator which forms the source. So any electrical network will require a source to drive the system, and there will be a load which is represented in the form of a motor which is the output terminal. Now the electrical network is basically the connection of the different elements of any electrical network. Okay, so in this case we can have resistor, inductor, transformer, semiconductor devices or any source of EMF. So all this interconnection will form an electrical network. Now how do we classify a electrical network? So the behavior of the entire network depends on the behavior and characteristic of its elements. So the elements that are present in the electrical network will decide the classification of the electrical network. So it is necessary to understand how the electrical networks are classified. So the first classification we will talk about is the linear network. Second, we'll talk about the non-linear network, then the bilateral network, unilateral network, active network, passive network, lumped network, distributed network. So first, let us see what is a linear network. So any network which has the elements like resistance, inductance and capacitance which are constant and they do not change with time, voltage or temperature, then that is known as the linear network. So linear network will not change its values of the element. The Ohm's law can be applied to such network. So any linear network, Ohm's law is valid. The mathematical equations are obtained by using the law of superposition. So we have not understand what is the law of superposition. We have not studied it. We will going to study this thing. But for the time being, we understand that whenever we have a linear network, Ohm's law will be valid and the law of superposition will be valid. Whereas in the nonlinear network, the parameters will change either with the time or temperature or the voltage. It will not be constant. And hence, the Ohm's law may not be applied to such network. Also, the law of superposition do not follow in such network. So, linear network and nonlinear network are reciprocal to each other. Now, let us see what is a bilateral network. Bilateral network means the characteristic of the elements are same irrespective of the direction of the current. So if we change the direction of the current, the characteristic of the element do not change through it. So if we take the example of a resistance, so even we change the direction of the current, the characteristic of the element do not change. Whereas in the unilateral network, the direction of the current plays a very important role to understand the behavior of the system and it is dependent on it. So if we take an example of a diode, then the flow of the current through the diode plays an important role on changing the direction of the current. Active network are the network which contains the source of energy. So these source of energy can be a voltage source or a current source. Whereas the passive network, no energy source will be there in the circuit. So these are two forms of circuit in which two types of voltages are used. So when we have a passive network, two different types of source can be there. Either we can have a AC source or a DC source. So AC source is basically alternating in nature and DC source will have a constant magnitude. Now, two important classification, one is known as the lump network and another is the distributed network we are going to see. So lump network is the one where the network elements are physically separable to each other. So when the network elements can be physically separable, it is known as the lump network. Most of the electrical networks are lumped in nature. So whenever we study any electrical network, we will study in terms of the lumped in nature. Distributed network are those where the circuit elements like resistance inductance cannot be physically separable for analysis purpose. So generally if we take an example of a transmission line, here the resistance, inductance and capacitance of the line are distributed in nature all along the length and cannot be separated in the circuit. So here we have understood 8 different type of important networks. Apart from this, we are oftenly come across two different type of networks known as one port network and two port network. So let us see what are they. First we'll see one port network. So one port network has basically one pair of terminals. So one pair of terminals if we have, then it is known as the one port network. It reduces the complexity of the circuit analysis. So in the one port network, less complex the circuit will be there. So in many common electronic devices and circuit blocks such as transistors, amplifiers and electronic filters, transformers and analyze in terms of the ports. So we require to do the analysis in terms of the port because they are the terminals. So in one port network you will have only one pair of terminal. A series parallel combination of resistor and capacitor are example of one port network. So whenever we will have a combination of resistor and capacitor, it will form a one port network. Whereas two port network are the one which has two pair of terminals. So here we can have one pair of terminal and here we can have another pair of terminals. So if we have two pair of terminals, that is known as the two port network. Generally, the examples are the amplifier, attenuator, filter, transformer. So there we have the two port network. It is very important to understand the difference between the lumped and the distributed system. So we have already introduced the lumped and the distribution network. Let us see in detail. So lumped system is the one in which the dependent variable of interest are a function of time alone. In general, these will be solving set of ordinary differential equation. So there is only one parameter above which the system depend is known the time. And here the equation for the circuit will be depend on ordinary differential equation. Whereas a distributed system, the dependent variable will be in terms of the time as well as one more spatial variable. So here we will define in terms of partial differential equation. So this is the basic difference between a lumped system and the difference between the distributed system. So one is defined by the ordinary differential equation, other is defined by the partial differential equation. Here time is the only factor, whereas apart from time we have one more spatial variable as the factor. So in order to understand the difference between a distributed system and a lumped system, we will take an example through a figure. So the first system, let us see a distributed system. Here it consists of infinitely thin string. So we can see that there is an infinitely thin string which is from the distance x equal to 0 and the length of the string is x equal to L. And it is supported at both ends. The dependent variable, the vertical position of the string, is basically the function of both the distance as well as the time. and it is variable in space and time. So it is known as the distributed system. Whereas if we say the other system, lumped system, it can be represented with a series of bits which is connected by massless string segments. So here we have the bits which are connected on a massless segment. Constraint to move vertically can be thought of a lumped system, perhaps an approximation to the continuous string. So in the lumped system, we can see that these bits are segregated to each other, whereas there is no separation in case of the distributed system. Now, the importance of lumped approximation to distributed systems enables one to cut computational cost. So generally whenever we are solving any circuit, so is some burden in terms of computational cost. So we do not go for the distributed system, rather we go for the lumped approximation, and we need to solve the ordinary differential equation rather than the full partial differential equation. So if we take the example of a transmission line, it is basically the example of a distributed system, whereas if we take an electrical network consisting of the resistance, capacitance and inductance, then it is basically the lumped network. Most of the electrical network that we are going to study is basically the lumped network. Now, how do we differentiate the lumped and the distributed elements? So generally in microwave circuits, we need to differentiate the lumped elements and the distributed elements. So see first the difference of the lumped element. So if the size of an element is smaller than the wavelength of the applied signal, that elements are known as the lumped elements. So generally if we talk about the size, it is less than 1 by 20 times the operating guided wavelength. So if the size is less than 1 by 20 times the wavelength of the applied signal, then that is known as the lumped element. Effect of wave propagation can be neglected. So we do not take the effect of the wave propagation in the lumped element. And the physical dimension of the lumped element make it so that the signal do not vary over the interconnect interfacing them. So here, if we talk about, there is no phase difference whenever there is a from the input to output signal. So phase difference is zero in these lumped elements. In case of a distributed element, the physical dimension is comparable with the operating wavelength. The distributed over any length in the circuit. So that we have taken the example of a transmission line. So when conventional lumped elements are difficult to implement at certain frequency, generally when the frequency is quite high in terms of the microwave frequency, we cannot go with the lumped elements, then in the distributed elements are used instead. Then it performs the same function as lumped element, but the signals vary along the lines and between the elements. So the signal that is being transmitted in the form of a wave has to be measured in terms of the distributed elements. These signal will undergo certain phase change across various points within the distributed system. So we have seen that there is no phase change in case of a lumped element, but there is a phase change in their distributed elements. Signal transmit time cannot be neglected in distributed elements. So since the distributed element there is a change in the phase and the elements are not separable, so the time transit signal cannot be neglected. Having known the different types of electrical network, now we will focus our discussion on what are the elements of an electrical circuit or a network. So elements of an electric circuit or a network can be interconnected in several ways. So whenever we say any electrical circuit, the elements can be interconnected in various different ways. So it is very necessary to understand some of the basic concepts of the network topology. While network is an interconnection of element or device, the circuit is basically a network which has the closed path. So if the closed path is not there, then we can't say the network to be a circuit. An electrical circuit basically depends upon three concepts, that is a node, branch and a loop. So we should understand the difference between the node, branch and loop to understand the electrical circuit. So let us start from the branch. So branch basically represent a single element that is present in a network such as the voltage source or a resistor. So here if we see a circuit. Here we have a 10-volt voltage source, 2 ampere current source, and we have 3 different resistors. So branch is basically measurement of the single element. So here any two terminal element, so we can say that a 10-volt voltage source or a 2 ampere current source or a resistor are basically two terminal element. So we count the two terminal element here. So basically we will be having 5 branches for this circuit, which comprise of a 10-volt voltage source, 2 ampere current source, and we have 3 resistors. So totally we will have the 5 branches in the circuit. Now let us define what is a node. So node is basically a point of connection between two or more branches. So wherever we have the separation of the branches, there a node is being formed. So node is indicated with a dot present between two or more branches. Now if a short circuit is there, which is a connecting wire between the two nodes constitute a single node. So if we see here, these 3 points which can be thought of a nodes are connected to each other. Here also the 4 nodes are connected to each other, so they can be taken as single node N1, and here you can take single node N. So these particular circuit will have 3 nodes. So here we have the first node A, then we have the second node B, and the third node is C. And the same circuit we can draw in a better way, representing the different nodes. So replacing these connecting wires by a single node. So we have A, B and C as the 3 node system, and the different branches, which are the 2 terminal elements like a 10-volt voltage source, 2 ampere current source and 3 resistors, are basically connected between the nodes. Now the third part of a network is basically a loop. So loop is basically any closed path which is starting at a particular node and it is passing through a set of nodes and returning to the same node without passing through any node more than once. So whenever we are passing through a node, it should not cross 2 times and it should form a closed path. A loop is said to be independent if it contains at least one branch which is not a part of any other independent loop. So if you have a one branch which is not a part of the other loop, then it is said to be an independent. Independent loop or path result into independent set of equations. Generally in circuit we have to solve some set of equations which need to be have independent, then only unique solutions will be obtained. So we need independent loops or path. So in general, for a network topology where we have B branches, N node and L independent loops, then these are related to each other using an equation which is given by B, that is the number of branches, is equal to number of loops plus number of nodes minus 1. So this fundamental theorem will be useful to determine the number of branch having known the number of loops and the number of nodes. Whereas the 2 or more elements are said to be connected in series. So we have already seen the series parallel connection, and here we can talk about in terms of the node that in a series connection where the 2 or more elements are connected, they exclusively share a single node. So a single node will be there and it will carry the same current. So if the current flowing is same between 2 or more elements and a single node is there, then that is known as the series connection. If we talk about the parallel connection for 2 or more elements, they share 2 different nodes and have the same voltage. So when we have the same voltage, it is a parallel connection. When we have the same current, it is basically a series connection. Now, having known the loop, we can talk about a mesh. So mesh is again the closed path in the circuit which do not contain any other closed path inside it. It is mean that it is an independent loop. It should not have any closed path inside it. So we can say that all meshes are basically the loops, but not all loops are the meshes. So meshes are basically the independent loops. It will not have any other closed path in the circuit. Let us take the example from this figure. How many loops are there, whereas how many meshes are there? So if we can count the number of closed path, we will be getting 3 closed paths. So first closed path here, second closed path here, and the third closed path here. Whereas the number of independent loops or the meshes, if we consider, which do not include any other loop inside it, are basically only 2. So this is the first loop and the second loop. These are known as the meshes. So there is a difference between the loop and the mesh. So in a more complicated circuit like this, we can count the number of mesh and the number of loops. So mesh, which are basically the independent loops, do not cross any other loops. So here we can have basically the 4 different meshes. However, if we count the number of loops, it is quite more, that is 14. So a circuit like this, which has 14 loops, we have only 4 meshes. So generally in circuit ahead, which we are going to study, we will see that it is better to deal with the meshes than to the loops. So in this particular chapter, we have seen the different types of electrical network, and we defined some of the important elements of the electrical network in terms of the node, branch and loop and their interconnection between them. This will form a very important fundamental video for the lecture coming ahead, where we are going to study the different laws. Thank you for now. See you in the next lecture.